I I don't know how much more I could do this, guys. I mean, Whiny Ace, Celestia, the main six are barely here. I don't know how much more I got in me. Wait, much life for easier. Look! What? After this, we'll only have 9 more chapters to go. Oh my god, you're right. The ending's never felt so more close now. I'm almost there. I can feel it. Oh, the ending's gonna be so good. Alright, let's do this. My little sub buddy, I mean, is Luffy even here anymore? When was the last time we actually seen or heard a line of dialogue from this guy? Um, no. Yeah, we haven't seen him since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We haven't seen him in 11 chapters. The power to destroy an island. Equestria in nature. Light exploded out of the windows of the castle. The entire structure shook before a chunk of the wall was taken out by a blast of magic. Inside, Celestia, Lord T-Rex, launched volley after volley of spells after another. T-Rex swerved and crouched, worse to avoid the attacks, swatting the blast he couldn't avoid with his massive hands. Smoke trailed off his left hand, and both of his palms were now slightly reddened. Sweat trickled down Celestia's face. She slid through the air at blinding speeds while T-Rex attacks flew at her. Blasts ran to her from her blind spot. Black flames raced over the shimmering golden sphere that encased Celestia. She returned to darting through the air and unleashed a concentrated beam at T-Rex. T-Rex smacked it away, deflecting it into a nearby wall. A white-hot hole, dripping with molten stone, replaced the small portion of the wall. In the same moment he blocked the bolt, T-Rex released his own attack. Raced forward and blasted through Celestia's shield, striking her in the knee. Celestia bit back a scream and was soon serpenting through the air. T-Rex shot spell after spell at her, more of them now crashing against her shield rather than missing. Large holes now covered the hall they were fighting in, with stones dangling loose here and there. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put in Osmond. Osmond glanced at the damage for a split second, spotting the rest of Camelot in the distance. A lack of fire or other signs of destruction put his attention back on the stones that remained in the walls. The listed stones gained a golden glow and turned red-hot before they rocketed through the air and slanted the T-Rex back at sides. He grunted as he swayed to the side, but righted himself before he went into a full tumble. The entire room shook when he let out a roar clawed at the air. A black gas that appeared as his loss struck. He plunged his arm and pulled out a large burlap sack. One hand into the sack and he glared up at Osmond.
Guess you're not too rusty at all. I was hoping to tenderize you a little more before I brought these out.
A concentrated beam of solar energy slammed into the bag, setting up a plume of smoke and flames. If you're going to attack, don't waste time indulging in your sadistic fantasies.
True.
T-Rex's voice rang through the smoke.
But I can't help but to have fun with this.
A massive length of chains flew out of the smoke, wrapped around Osmond, but he concentrated his shield around where it would impact. Its speed would have been hard for a civilian to track, but the trained eyes would have been flat on the ground. In the split second it took to see the attack coming, Osmond had already charged up another shot and ready to fire it. The chains collided with his shield as he launched his own spell. The air distorted, and Osmond sucked in his breath before the chain sliced through his shield and ran to his side. His shot went wild and flew up harmlessly into the sky while he spiraled into the ground. Osmond coughed and struggled to get to his host. The area where the chains had struck him were marked with deep indents and were already turning a nauseous purple hue. T-Rex slowly strode over to him, chain rattling in his hand.
Not quite as satisfactory as hitting you with my own magic or fists, but I really do know the anti-magic metallurgy at Tartarus.
T-Rex raised the chains in front of his face and pulled them tight.
Now, I'm thinking I give you a nice lease for each year that I spent in that pit. Sounds suitable.
Osmond let out a pain groan as he tried to get up. T-Rex bared his teeth at her in a jagged grin while he pulled back his arm.
Ah, So glad you agree.
His arm flew forward, but the chain went tight before it was fully went past his head. In an instant, a blue blur wrapped around the remaining chain around his throat and pulled it tight knot. It's Sonic the Hedgehog! He's come to save the day! Do 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 do. T-Rex's hands raced to his neck and clasped his knee. While T-Rex struggled, a cool glow washed over Osmond. The pain in his side receded, and the wounds lightened and colored slowly. The magic also held him to his hooves. Fully upright again, he let out a breath and sighed. Glinda, thank you. I wish I could have gotten here sooner, Glinda replied. Shadows swirled around her, blackening her fur and summoning up more armor. I would be sitting this fight out anymore, though. The heavy thudded chains drew their attention back toward T-Rex. Huffing, he glared at him like his eyes were about to erupt. Crimson lightning arced around him as he picked up the chains. Hey, guys, you want to come back? They're doing some awesome stuff. Darling, there's still massive plot holes. Yes. Did we still spend the last several chapters being useless, having our characterizations dragged through the mud, and Fullmetal being rather pointless in the entire adventure? Yeah. Did we still feel like there was no point to us? That we were just there to make the One Piece cast look good? Yeah. Our scene still just basically having, the characters that the author likes being held up and praised, while everybody else just basically kicked down while they're down? Yeah. Land no deal! Right. Well, at least they still have Starlight. Starlight? Starlight? Oh, what's wrong? Well, I thought you didn't hate me. Well, no, I don't hate you at all. I kind of like you. You could be fun sometimes. You could be interesting sometimes. And, in the hands of the right author, you could be a great character. Well, look what I've had to suffer through. You suffered? I've been whimpering. I've been a crybaby. I've been a sad sack of filth. I've been useless. I haven't done jack. All the pain that Twilight would have suffered through this fic, I've taken on. It just feels like you only put me in here because he didn't want the sunset to get harmed. So I had to suffer through all this. Oh. Darling, I'm sorry. I really am. Oh, jeez. Tell you what. How about I replace you with another Ruby cast member? You can join your friends. I mean, you do have a role in Fall of Starfleet. I do? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. You get to kick some major butt. Really? Yeah, you get to co-star right alongside Trixie. Oh, thank you. Go. I'll have Vic send somebody over. Don't worry. What I wouldn't do for a friend. Girls! Penny exclaimed as he pulled her friends into a hug. Penny? Yang pushed back and easily separated from the group. Instead of a hoof, so he pointed to T-Rex Beast, which was slowly picking itself off the floor. Now isn't the best time for greetings. Sorry, just a little emotional after everything that's happening here. Penny blushed a little. But I don't understand. I thought you were training with Glinda. We were, silly. Ruby draped one leg across Penny's back and noogied her with another one. But how? I've got this. Pyrrha flashed Penny a grin. We'll just take a break after the elements do their stuff. Pyrrha sucked in her breath. First off, though, the reason we got here so quick is because we never left. It looked like Penny's face was about to slip off her head. What? Hockey-infused hose retreated against the armor. Glinda pulled her leg back and sent Ruby flying. The tarted texture vanished from Ruby's hose and appeared on her back. Ready to skid across the dusty battleground, she instead bounced across it like a ball. A bit more serious, Ruby Rose. Glinda barked before darting over and resuming the fight. Nearby, missing vistas of Glinda faced off against the rest of the girls. A storm of bucks flew a few centimeters away from Yang's glassy eyes, while blow after blow struck the tangled mess that was Weiss's mane and coat, only for the hockey-hardened splotches ahead instead. Overhead, the clouds rapidly shifted in shape, while lightning bolts flashed in the sky. Back on the ground, Blake gasped for breath, limbs flailing, while Glinda locked her legs around her chest and neck. Give! Blake choked. I give! Well, the only thing I'm giving you today is unconsciousness and a nice pattern of bruises unless you get free, said Glinda. Blake's left elbow turned black. Said I give! Blake jabbed Glinda in the ribs, and the misty cone disappeared. With a tiny yelp, Blake fell to the ground, gasping for breath. A shadow went over her as she shuddered. Another misty Glinda stared down at her with a smile on her lips. Your defense is getting faster. You've got 5 minutes to get some water and recover. Yay, Blake wheezed. Winterpulse training is less severe, Pyrrha said as she donned her element. Penny winced when the entire room and the beast went barreling all the way back to the door. Weiss lowered a blackened hoof and joined the others to chest containing the elements. And that was after spending all those nights in that dreadful forest. Weiss placed a hoof to her forehead. Thanks to stars no pony saw us then, I was barely able to live with being a mop, let alone having some pony know. Penny raised an eyebrow. Wait, but you've been gone only a few days. I was getting to that. Pyrrha had saw that the beast was getting back up and bounding towards him. Wonder how far I can get before we blast that thing. Sweat dripped from all the girls' muzzles. The sun radiated brilliantly above them, making their mouths dry and turning the battleground into an oven. Yet Glinda and her doppelgangers assailed all 5 of them with her not a drop of sweat showing on her main body, despite her armor. Glinda suddenly stiffened, allowing Weiss to land a solid hit on her. Glinda stood in place. Before Weiss could pull her hoof back, though, and make sure Glinda was okay, the ground beneath her surged and tilted. Pyrrha and Blake took to the air, while everyone else fell into the sand. Only Glinda remained upright. Okay. Yang shook her head and spat out some sand. Guess it's the next part of the training, then? Yang's eyes widened, and they regained their color. Her jaw slackened in ecstatic awe. She raised up a hoof and watched as it slowly came into focus. Well, whatever it is, I can definitely take it now I got my sight back. Yang's celebration was cut short when she saw how pale Glinda had become. I'm afraid our training has been cut short, said Glinda. Something has happened back at the castle. Brace yourselves! Now, just a moment. I stuck a hoof with perfectly pampered fur out at Glinda. Yang and my afflictions have suddenly cleared up. We got hit by an earthquake, and now you tell us something's wrong at the castle. Can we just get a little more information before we're thrown into whatever's happening back in Catalan? Yeah! Ruby popped up beside Glinda. As much as I like surprises, when it comes to dangerous stuff, I like to know the details. Like when you set off a giant firework. We don't have time. Your bodies! Glinda shook her head and grated her teeth before letting out a deep sigh. I've been somewhat disgenerous to you and your training. While you certainly faced many adversaries and were struck by various ailments, I was always able to be there to guide your development. The entire battleground pulsated. Yang and Weiss were shoved back as the sand beneath them swept away, revealing the infinite space of the cosmos. Rather than fall infinity, the space directly below their host now faintly glowed and kept them standing. The sky above darkened and filled with constellations, while the clouds morphed into a swirling nebulous galaxies. All 5 of the girls stared at the scene in awe, before their attention was drawn to the bright glow of Glinda's horn. Small tendrils of light peeled off of it and condensed into each one of them. This is my most powerful spell. It grants me the ability to connect to ponies in their dreams and render assistance when needed, Glinda said, her voice now carrying an echo. At this score's time, this was the only safe haven Osmond and I had time to train and ready ourselves to combat him. So, leave it asleep all this time? Pierre flew close and eyed Glinda intensely. Won't that mean just our bodies will be soggy and weak? Are you familiar with sleepwalking? Another quick slug to Dean's face. We have no more time. Suffice it to say, while not all your training will transfer over to your real bodies, due to the time delays between waking and a dream, hockey is much more a matter of spirit than muscles. Now, let us make haste! Osmond swerved to the right, while Glinda rolled to the left. The chains cleaved between them, stones flamed beneath where they fell. T-Rex whipped them around, but Osmond and Glinda serpentined through the air as their horns grew bright. Blasts of lightning and fire struck T-Rex at his sides, but he just grunted and continued flailing his chains around. Glinda zoomed in from the left, her whole body crackling with electricity. T-Rex glared at her as he got within arm's reach and let his chains fall to the floor. Tor glanced at her as he surged out his hand and sent Glinda careening across the room. In a flash, T-Rex spun around and backhanded Osmond towards the other side of the room. Picking herself up, Glinda shook off some debris. Osmond really needs to pick his fights better. Across the room, Osmond said nothing and took to the air to grin. Again, the two teachers flew at T-Rex at blinding speeds as he reached himself to pick up his chains. A wicked grin appeared on his face as his fists grew bright with energy.
Let's see how you...
A thick beam of light magic rammed into his upper back. The glow around his hands vanished as he spun around to face the origin of the attack. His jaw hardened at the sight of Penny and every pony. Elements already aglow.
So... now we're all here.
T-Rex raised an eyebrow, counting only 5 elements adoring the ponies before him.
Almost. Do you think yourself so mighty that you don't even need all the elements to deal with me?
Look at that in sec, said Pyrrha. Might as well give up now, though, and make this easy.
I think not.
T-Rex sensed a breath, tightening his muscles. A deep red glow formed around his hooves. Around every pony felt the temperature rise a few degrees, even a black spear appeared in the middle of his horns. The entire castle suddenly tilted to the left. The spear vanished from between T-Rex's horn and grasped a nearby pillar for support. Every pony without wings clamored for a foothold, while dodging clusters of stones that had been loosened by the earthquake. Osmond raced over to Penny and Ruby, set up a barrier around the two of them, while Glinda slipped through the air and plucked Weiss and Yang off the ground. Pyrrha kept close to her before she too summoned the barrier.
That idiot is even less precise than me,
T-Rex grumbled. Pinch us, Penny grumbled. It's Blackbeard. It's Blackbeard. The look in Osmond's eyes both chilled Penny and tightened her resolve. Penny, I fear he is now an even greater threat than T-Rex. I hope to weaken T-Rex a bit further, but I fear I must now leave this matter in your hands. But the elements could... The elements will be useless on Blackbeard. I don't know why, but that's what the script says. Other socks continued to jostle the debris around them. I mean, it's magic, not devil fruit users. We've already discovered that. Unless Blackbeard is consciously got his devil fruit power activated, he is still pretty much touchable. You could still hurt him. You could still hit him with the appropriate attacks. All you need to do is just put a magical bubble. I don't see why this does not work. Twilight, I'm sorry I could not teach you more in our training, but T-Rex must be stopped here and now. Osmond. Penny stuck her chest out a huff. We won't fail. I know you won't. Osmond undid his barrier as the rumbling died down. Glinda floated down from nearby and deposited every pony on the ground. Pyrrha landed instead of a small cloud of dust. Glinda looked over at the group and smiled. It is in your hands now, my friends. Osmond and Glinda both spread their wings wide, slipped towards one of the many holes in the wall. T-Rex reached out to grab them, but a blast of magic forced him to block, allowing Osmond and Glinda to dart out of the sky. Ooh! Okay, So fans, how cool would it have been if the author decided he wanted to be original and instead have T-Rex get really pissed at Blackbeard for messing up? It goes,
Excuse me a second. I'm Blackbeard, and I'm a snap. Let's continue now.
T-Rex stared at the rapidly streaking mice before turning his attention to the 5 ponies in the room. A small chuckle rose up from his lungs and quickly turned into a roaring bellow.
This will be even easier than I thought. Celestia's sister cut me off like God, but now she's abandoned the elements. She might as well have gripped at you.
T-Rex raised up high and rent the air, producing another gas in space.
Not that I don't have kids of my own.
Hey, how's the Trixie Lizard handling and doing? Just asking. A massive clawed leg stepped out of the portal, followed by the rest of the reptilian creature. It stood taller than T-Rex Air Beast, but his body was much more light to support the leathery wings on its back. Instead of tusks, a razor-sharp beak adorned its face, giving the beast the appearance of a living gargoyle. So, you're not going to put Trixie back, huh? F you, Fick. F you. Everybody's face paled when 2 more beasts struck their heads out of T-Rex portals. Thick manes like a lion sprouted behind their heads. A thick orange coat of fur covered their bodies, but did nothing to scare the massive muscles that reveled under their skin. The final beast that emerged from the portal was the most similar to T-Rex's first creature. It had glistening tusks and skin like armor, but its color was light amethyst rather than a deep blue.
I was imprisoned by the elements,
he said as he bent down and gave the 2 main beasts a pat on the head.
I felt them sift not so many moons ago. I knew they had found no pass.
His lips pulled back to show his face.
So, I made certified special playmates just for you.
John Ark sprang out once the pile of rubble that had once been the wall of a depot. One of his legs was bent in the wrong direction, and only shallow guttural breaths came out of his mouth. Vic? Question? Over here? Can we skip this part? I mean, just skip over it completely? I can guarantee you the audience is probably more focused on the T-Rex fight. And personally, I could care less about Blackbeard right about now. He's been so overused in the fandom, I think it's become a running gag. Jinbei was scrunched up on the ground, clutching the now reddened bandages around his chest. Jesus loomed over him and smirked. Oh, thank God. Blackbeard stood and stared at the destruction, howling with laughter. Osmond couldn't stop shaking as he took in the scene. His body mangled and hurt. He struggled to raise his head to look at Ace, who stood immovable in front of him. Silence when the odd angle that Ace's leftover stuck out at. Yeah. Can you move? Ace asked.
I think.
Crow stuttered. Then get going! Ace seized up when he took a step. As for hair, he glared at Crow, who remained in his spot. Tate's opened up a lot of escape routes, so go! Crow glanced over to where John was and pale. We need to get John out, too. Ace's host shook. His head darted back and forth between John and Blackbeard, but zoned in on the latter when he began to advance towards Ace.
Get now, Ace, said Blackbeard. I'm stronger than even Pops now. This power was wasted on that dying fool anyway.
Leered over at this John.
Your friend isn't looking too good either. My doctor can fix him up. No strings attached.
I just had to join you is all right. Ace spat.
My offer stands regardless.
Whitebeard's the only man I'll ever follow. Blackbeard clenched his teeth.
Well, he's dead. Luckily he has to show for it. His crew is in shambles. You're only alive thanks to magical horses, and I have his powers now. Ace, You must have known that Whitebeard was never going to be king, even if he lived another 100 years. He wasted his life on the seas protecting his sons, when he could dominate the Grand Line and brought the world government to its knees. Just look at how easily I did it!
Enough! Ace roared. I don't care that you stole Boss's power. I don't care how clever you think you are. I wouldn't even be able to care if you are king. Face came more pronounced on Blackbeard's face.
What's that, Ace? That's me, seeing me use Pops' power scared the wits out of you?
Because you still be the same piece of trash no matter what. Despite the surge of pain to his left leg, Ace took a step forward. A few tears bubbled up in the corners of his eyes. I wanted Boss to be king, but there were days when I see him smiling on the ship like he was already king. Days like those made us forget about treasure, bounties, and what lay at the end of the Grand Line. I'll give you that at least. If Boss wanted the One Piece, he had taken it years ago. He sniffled and shook his head. But he didn't want whatever piece of crud Roger left, though. He wanted his ship and he wanted his sons. He furrowed his brow and glared at Blackbeard. You took that away from him, Teats.
You're like a broken record,
Blackbeard groaned. He placed a hoof in his screw bright.
Your brain's full of all that mush, and maybe the flame fruit deserves a different user after all.
Massive ball fired, slanted to Blackbeard, sent him flying. Ace looked to the sky and was met with Celestia staring down now with a smile on her face. He slipped down towards Ace, while Glinda stood next to John and Jinbei. As Glinda encased John and Jinbei in her magic and teleported them elsewhere, Osmond drew closer to Ace and produced a small key. It seems that you and your brother are actually quite keen on the magic of friendship. Osmond lowered the key and inserted it into the bracelet around Ace's leg. Clanged against the ground while Ace raised his hoof and swallowed it into a firing flame. His focus then shifted to Spike, Crow. Oh, Crow, I'm sorry to worry you, but you just rest now, and Penny and I will come to get you when this is done. Crow grumbled as he took another swig of his booze. He made to move, but his legs gave out as he fell to his knees, unable to move, the bow taking too much out of him. He breathed slowly and just grumbled, mentioning something under his breath about life and don't die. But due to his weakness, it was unintelligible. Great Black Spear's shadow caught all their attention, and Blackbeard lumbered out of the rubble, his body shaking in rage. We had to stop him, said Ace. I know, Osmond replied as his horn grew bright, but I even promised to uphold the straw hat. Goosebumps erupted against Ace's body as a golden glow encased it. He summoned flames and stretched his right arm back to land a hit on Osmond. No! He said. Blackbeard is mine! Ace vanished in a flash. With Glinda and Osmond staring him down, Blackbeard let out a chuckle.
Well, I guess you're pretty angry at me for all the trouble I've caused.
He flashed him a grin.
Would it help to say I only came here for Ace and that T-Rex was the one that really wanted to have fun here?
Both Osmond and Glinda laid out their horns in response.
I didn't think so.
Blackbeard cracked his neck and flexed his right foreleg.
Ah, well, I need to work out my powers anyway.
We do not wish for every pony in town to see us beat you, more black and blue than ourselves, Glinda said. Blackbeard tensed when a prismatic aurora took him and his crew. Osmond and Glinda glowed with magic as well, and soon became blinding. When the magic died down, Blackbeard found himself surrounded by endless stretches of sand and rocky chasms. Okay, time out. Time. Does everybody see the problem with this moment right here? Does anybody else beside me see the problem? If not, let me put it this way. They just said they could teleport Blackbeard and his crew to great distances. How about instead of teleporting him to random desert in the Badlands here, you instead teleport him to a lake here. Keep his crew above the water, and let Blackbeard go Looney Tunes style.
Where are we? In here? Uh-oh. That's a lake, isn't it?
Pew! Swoosh! You just saved us a battle! That's the problem when you say they can do this. Because then you have to ask questions. Wind swirled between him and the two sisters, sending up clouds of dust. His men gathered inside, eager grins on all their faces. A cold air rose up around Glinda. In all my travels, I never encountered such a human that could bring out such misery. Okay, except maybe Cinder. But how dare he kill Pyrrha at the end of Volume 3? Marcel D. Cheech. Osmond's voice reverberated across the wastelands. You have abused, manipulated, and killed all for the sake of power. You have brought chaos and destruction to our land. But even if you had not, your crimes mark you as a man undeserving of any punishment you receive.
Oh, enough with the speeches!
Blackbeard flexed himself.
You really managed to get him out bad side.
Tiny bits of rock and dust shook the castle's walls from the ceiling. Blake quickened her pace, but slowed down when she felt Trixie shift slightly on her back. Oh dear, Blake murmured. A bit of color returned to her when she spied the oaken door that was slightly larger than the other ones. So Goku trotted over to it and slipped inside. Luffy rested atop his bed since he had arrived from the war. Blake quietly bent down beside the bed and placed Trixie on the floor. The showmare was asleep without a scratch on her. You should be safe here, Blake whispered before the castle rumbled again. I hope. Blake's hair suddenly stood up. The air near her distorted before a bright flash filled the room. Problem! Ace yelled. Flaming hoof aimed right at Blake. Blake threw up a leg and smacked Ace's hoof to the ground. Ow! Ace cried when a wolf felt where his leg had been turned back to physical form. Feels like... Ace froze in a sense of Blake trembling, of Blake looking at him. Ace, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you so hard. Blake, as he explained, you just came out of nowhere. I need a princess for that! Ace drew in a breath at the sight of Luffy, still unconscious, before quickly unclenching his muscle. A stab of pain from his left shoulder forced him to flinch, though. That shoulder doesn't look good. Blake drew closer and grew a little pale. You need ice. But I need to get back. Her host stirred a little. Oh, shoot. This is nothing, Ace grunted. You have somewhere to be, go. But what about you? Ace glanced back at the bed. I'll stay here and keep Luffy safe. I can do that much at least. Blake smiled and nodded. She turned to go out the door, but a chain exploded out of it. Blake went on her belly, the chain still managing to shear off the tips of her mane. The detective whipped through the room and sped towards the bed. Ace flew forward and set on a wall of flames, but the chains cut through it like butter. Sickening grunts echoed through the wall as the chains collided into Ace and threw him against the wall. Ace! Blake cried. Before she could move over to him, a clawed hand reached out and held her tight. A sharp cry escaped Blake's mouth.
Guess the doppelganger spell was a nice inheritance from Discord.
Tears smirked as he squeezed Blake a little higher.
Bearer of kindness. Yet throughout your life, you've been treated as nothing more than a bridge for other bodies to step on.
Tiara's horns glistened, with crimson magic and a familiar glow surrounded Blake's eyes.
Why don't we let out some of that pent-up aggression?
Fluttershy corrupted? A terrible power awakens. This is the next chapter. Walls and the ceiling of the library of the hallway were a little more than rubble now. A few teetering patches of stone still stood here and there, but the slightest rumble threatened to topple them over. Blasts of magic, massive claws, and a shockwave of powerful blows were more than enough to demolish what remained, leaving little else but the floor to absorb the collateral damage of the fight. Even that was now scorched, melted, and cracked. Ruby and Yang stood back to back. One of Ruby's scythe glistened while Yang cracked her knuckles, ready for the next round. The two lion like space paced around them, hot breaths streaming along their slick flanks. With a growl, they pounced at Ruby and Yang, claws extended and slicing through the air. One of the beasts snipped the edge of Yang's hair, while the other beast only managed to cleave through empty space. One swift motion, Yang ducked low, and Ruby limboed out of the beast's way. Like a spring, Ruby raced back up and sliced Brace's jaw. At the same time, Yang tugged into her legs and bucked him high into the beast's chest. her hair cracking like thunder from the speed of her kick. Both beasts were knocked onto their backs, with Yang flying a few good meters through the air first. Ruby bounced back and caught her sister in her arms.
Ouch! These guys hit hard!
The two snorts forced both girls to look away from each other and back at the beast. Both were ready to get up again, despite their fresh injuries. The glare in their eyes actually appeared more intense than ever before, roaring loud enough to shake the floor around them. Both beasts bounded towards Ruby and Yang. Yang crouched down, ready to release another kick, pinned there hard to keep down. Nearby, Tusk came within inches of piercing Weiss's chest. Yama's beast swung his head around like a frenzied elephant, yet his attacks always missed by a hair. Sweat was pouring down Weiss's face. A drop of it dripped in her eye just as the beast raised a massive claw. Weiss bent her legs a second too late, and the beast's massive leg pounded to her and threw her across the room. A gleam vanished from where she had been struck, but a trio of shallow claw marks remained. The air felt frizzy when she sucked to the air to regain the breath the beast had knocked out of her. She glanced over to where she had only been, to see the beast already racing towards her. Grinding her teeth, she lit her a horn, the tip of it turning it black. The beast launched into the air with its intent on sinking its fangs or tusk into Weiss, but instead found itself going out through a cracked barrier. Behind a rapidly crumbling dome of magic, Weiss struggled to get to her host, to her mane now swirling around her, tips simmering with hockey.
Thanks, Celestia, you can't laugh at this,
Weiss said before flying into the beast with her hair whipping through the air. Two blurs, one scaly brown the air as cyan, led the prismatic trail rocking through what was left of the building. Pyrrha and the winged monster helixed through broken pillars and arches, talons and blanket hulls clashing against each other. Pyrrha looted through above the smattering rows of stones, zoomed in and kicked off of it, sending out a small shockwave of color. The stones crashed down on the winged beast, but gave just a screech and barreled through them. One block came at it too fast to dodge, though. The beast flared its talons and then slammed into the stone, slicing it into chunks that was like its clay. It was about to continue its pursuit of Pyrrha when it let out a howl of pain. Pyrrha zipped around the beast and used his confusion to take it from behind, jabbing a spear right between its wings. Something cracked underneath her, and the beast's right wing seized up. Ha! How do you like that? The beast spun around and pulled Pyrrha to its chest with a claw. Pyrrha cried out when the beast's talons as it clawed into her side. Both of them went into a free fall. Yet the beast continued to exert even more pressure on Pyrrha, uncaring about the ground they were racing towards. Pyrrha struggled to move and breathe. Her right wing was free as he fought about in a panic. No good to release the beast's hold on her. The rest of her limbs were held tight, despite Pyrrha flexing as hard as he could. The ground was rapidly getting closer.
Let me go!
Pyrrha roared. Armor rushed over her wing and slashed at the beast's chest. Narrowing a deep cut now marred the beast. Gasping in pain, the beast loosened his hold on Pyrrha, as he zoomed out his grip an instant before the beast collided with the ground. Pyrrha suddenly tilted to the right and tumbled to the ground, her still metallic wings slicing through the floor like butter. With a huff, she picked herself up, and the swirling dust caused by the fall, she could make out her opponent too was back on his claws. His yellow eyes pierced through the cloud at Pyrrha. Rather than meet the glare, Pyrrha closed her eyes and drew her breath. Hockey raced over her other wing, turning her feathers into a rate of blaze. Her knees bent lately under the new weight, but she could take it.
All right,
she said, raising her head. Let's do this.
Vic, this fight has been decent. It's been showing the main six at their best. I now have to ask one freaking question. Why have we been sitting through all these other chapters of this? Why did we have to sit through Xenolestia? Impel down, but without anything else to it. A Whitebeard War, and all these Senator chapters. Why? Why did we have to sit through that? I don't ask for much. I just want Luffy to be awesome, the girls to be awesome, and the girls and Luffy to be awesome in the same fic. I want to see them in character. I want to see them be cool. I want to have a good, entertaining story. I finally get what I want. This part is actually decent.
It's just a shame that everything else you have done have ticked off the girls so much that they do not want to come back into the studio.
Shame on you.
In between their own bows, all four girls and the beast would jump or fly back when a rain of hellish fireballs or an air beam of purple magic blasted through their battlefield. In the middle of this assault was T-Rex and Penny. A bit of smoke curled up from Penny's horn, while T-Rex's hands glowed bright even when he wasn't allowed to use attacks. His chains dangled from a holster on his waist, the rattling, occasionally drawing a glance from Penny.
Something wrong, little pony?
T-Rex sneered. His eyes lit up with delight, while Penny barely dodged another volley of fireballs.
Don't worry about the chains. I'm saving those especially for Celestia. Her magic is actually a problem, but yours is nothing worse than a mosquito bite.
A blast of magic came square in the chin. When the smoke settled, not even T-Rex's beard was unsettled. His grin widened.
See?
Penny lowered her head and let out a defeated sigh. I do. I see right through you. A glimpse of scarlet caught T-Rex's attention. His nostrils flared when he saw a wispy red glow now outlining his body.
Clever. Why can't this stop getting away?
You left yourself too open, Penny replied while T-Rex shade threw another spell at her. Cast against the barrier, but it dissipated after a moment. Penny undid the barrier, her breathing a little labored now. Even if my magic was weaker to Celestia's, it should have at least done superficial damage to your hair and fur. Not using those anti-magic chains was another red flag. T-Rex roared, stampeded at Penny. His massive foes only managed to trample the already shredded carpet. He snarled when he felt the air distort around his back. He reached around to grab Penny. She teleported onto him. In an instant, she lost another spell into him and vanished again before he could seize her.
If you know I'm not here, why waste the magic?
He grunted. I'm not, Penny replied. No spell can sustain itself, even such a powerful doppelganger one. You're still connected to your real body, and now I'm going to find where you're hiding. Penny smirked down at T-Rex, but her expression suddenly sank. Wide eyes, she switched over another section of the castle. Still undamaged, goosebumps were running across her body.
Hoping to find a mastery in a evil conjurer that masks my weaknesses behind corrupted ponies and illusions.
T-Rex let out a messy chuckle.
I'm afraid that even without my magic, I can lay Equestria to waste. Although, having it makes it easier to insert the elements won't be able to stop me.
Penny paused at the ground in front of her with her hoof. The horn ready to launch another attack. What have you done with Blake?
I'm actually still doing it, but the collapse will be complete soon.
T-Rex didn't move to attack Penny anymore. He just sneered down at her.
Once that's done, you lose your access to the elements. Even my pets will prove too much for the likes of normal ponies.
Nearby, Pyrrha spun to the left, her wings cleaving through the beast's chest. Just as it cuts down, lining his torso and front legs. And the cuts no longer bled, fresh scales were moving forward on the eldest of them. The monsters facing the arrows were simply bruised and beaten, yet their wounds for the start of the fight were clearly healing over. The girls were breathing heavily, drenched in sweat. Only Yang's hose remained black, while the others could barely manage to summon Hockey and Splotches, defend against the attacks that were hitting them more and more frequently.
Soon you will all fall.
T-Rex bellowed.
Then I'll have plenty of time to figure out how to present your bodies to Celeste, your husband.
The glow around Fluttershy grew more concentrated with each passing second. Her initial cries of pain were shifting into snarls of rage, and her veins struggled to free T-Rex's iron grip. Her mane had gotten tossed in a wild state, revealing her ears were suffering. In desperation, she flung herself to the side, trying to bite down T-Rex's hand, but was unable to reach.
Finally, once you get a little agitated, aren't you?
T-Rex finally shook his hand, snapping Blake's head back and leaving her in a daze.
You can only fight for so long, though, just like your pathetic friends.
A light caught T-Rex in the eyes, forcing him to blink. The necklace draped over Blake's chest gave off a pink glow, his aura keeping T-Rex at bay. With a snort, T-Rex reached out to grab it.
So, it's your element putting up all this resistance, eh? Well, you will be needing that.
An enormous torrent of flame exploded in T-Rex's stomach. He roared all the while the attack continued pushed against him. Blake slipped down his hand and fell to the ground, just before T-Rex was launched off his hooves. He flew clean across the room with a mess of limbs. Fluttershy slid down on his hand and fell to the ground just before T-Rex launched off his hooves. Creeping across the road with a mess of limbs and flame of smoke. Jason walked clean down his way and smacked into it, sending an avalanche of broken glass and stone onto him. The remaining stream of fire shrank back down and reformed into Ace's rightful leg. Reaching for air, he went to his knees, a few drops of sweat spilling onto the floor alongside of blood dribbling from his mouth. Cleansed saw, he pushed against the ground and managed to get back to his host. Blake was just a few feet away from him. When he stepped, sucked the breath out of him and sent a sharp pain through his core. A violent shaking froze Ace. One of T-Rex's arms clawed out of the wreckage across the hall and defiled by the rest of his torso. The black fur of his chest and stomach and skin underneath was now hidden or replaced by smoldering embers and ash. He shook uncontrollably and clenched his jaw so tightly it looked like his fangs could crack at any moment. The reward that dwarfed all others, everything in his immediate vicinity disintegrated to nothing. If it took a fall directly before him was vaporized. With a grunt, he swiped through the smoke and destructed his injuries it caused. His muscles seemed ready to rip out of his skin. His eyes were in a similar state, filled with such concentrated rage they would paralyze any pony that had the misfortune of getting caught in their sight. Despite the initial shock of seeing T-Rex rise up, Ace turned away from Blake and looked ahead of her. Now both she and Luffy were directly behind him. Ignoring his injuries, Ace tightened his muscles and stared down at T-Rex with just as a powerful glare, not the same anger that made T-Rex grind his fangs.
Human,
T-Rex growled.
You would have died anyway. But now, you must sure I take my time with you.
Give it your best shot! Ace spat towards T-Rex. You have another thing coming if you think I'll let you get near Luffy. T-Rex blinked and then laughed.
Is that what that other attack was about? That useless invalid on the bed? Ha! If you had any brains, you'd have corralled him while I was dealing with the enemy bear. I have greater concerns right now than pursuing two wayward humans anyway.
T-Rex took a step forward, but had to pause and put a hand to his abdomen. Ace took the opportunity to summon flames around his body. This produced a sustained crackle from T-Rex.
That fool Blackbeard wasted his time coming here on you.
T-Rex shook his head and grinned.
I'll give you credit for getting me off guard, and I'll be hunting for a bit. But all eventually fall before T-Rex. Fists, hooves, weapons, magic. All they can do is slow me down. Even the greatest magic in this land can only weaken me long enough to be imprisoned again. What can one tiny devil fruit user do?
He glanced to the left and noticed one of Fluttershy's. He then glared back at T-Rex. I can kick your ass long enough for someone else to show up and get Luffy out of here. Despite the pain it caused him, T-Rex laughed louder than ever.
Oh, I've forgotten how hilarious it is to hear somebody that's about to die still thinks things will work out for the loved ones at least. I thought humans were a bit smarter than that.
Ace lowered and shook his head. You got a point. These ponies are pretty stupid sometimes. I mean, with all their caring and emotion and compassion. T-Rex snorted when Ace raised his head again. They got stuff that's precious in them, though. I've got Luffy to protect, but even if it was just a dumb pony, you still royally pissed me off. Oh, really? You got Luffy to protect. Is that why you spent the last 2 chapters whining and crying about your freaking crew? Something seemed to crack inside T-Rex. He was shaking his manacles, and an instant violent roar trailed off of him. A bit of froth came to his mouth as he let out an ominous cry that had the power of the thunderclap. Despite Ace charging up another large attack, T-Rex prowled right through him. A blast of pressure caused T-Rex to come to a screeching halt. Craze looked to his eye, faded, and sensing it returned to them. At the same time, Ace nearly blacked out. Pain running through his torso kept him conscious. He was chilled to the bone, yet at the same time he felt as if he was next to a great fire. Something far more intense than anything he could summon. The ground near Ace suddenly cratered. The stone hadn't even shattered. The force had been so great to mold the floor into a new shape. A second later, a sonic boom shattered the air right in front of T-Rex's chest. A wind knocked out of him as he flew high into the air. Gasping for breath, he became aware that something rammed into his chest, preventing him from fully expanding his chest. Eyes like the most radiant rubies glared back at him, sending a cold shiver down his spine. Blake bared a set of fangs at T-Rex before driving her foot hose deeper into his gut, Despite a vastly smaller flame, she continued to lift further into the sky, while the castle got smaller and smaller beneath them. The air rippled during them, torn asunder by each powerful flap of the thick leathery wings that replaced Blake's feathered ones. Uh, Fluttershy, just to let you know, there is a cool scene in this involving you hurting T-Rex badly. Doesn't that make you feel better after all the pain and insults and suffering you have suffered through the past few stories?
No,
What?
they're making me use Flutterbat. Basically, another cameo. The only reason why Flutterbat's here is because the author liked me as Flutterbat more than me. So, no.
With the ease of handling a fall, Blake lifted up T-Rex with a hiss and threw him with all her strength back to the distant ground. In a brief moment of freedom, he drew his breath, struck at pupils, watching as Blake raced towards him. Pain grunt, he threw his shield around himself. Rather than slow down, Blake actually sped up, going fast enough through the air to store and form a cone around her. She drew one foreleg back, connected with a fair bit of her chest with an armored hockey. With a screech, she brought down on his shield, showering in a hail of magical splinters. Even before the backlash of the broken spell could hit T-Rex, Blake's other foreleg decked him across the face. The force was so great he sent out another small sonic boom and snapped T-Rex into a different trajectory. Screaming a mixture of rage and pain, he sprawled down with Blake in pursuit. A few moments later, T-Rex double had been laughing at Penny while she continued to blast him with spell after spell. Suddenly, his body wavered, and Penny's last attack blasted straight through him. T-Rex faded away like mist. But Penny didn't have time to celebrate. Began tossing her horn with magic needed to teleport over to Luffy's room. The wall near Luffy's room suddenly heaved outward with flames, sneaking out to the new foreign graps. With deafening crash, the wall gave in and tumbled down, sending up a fake cloud of debris.
What the?
Pierre spun around and landed a thunderous bucket to the winged beast and sent it sprawling across the battlefield. Taking a breath, the blue returned to her wings as she stepped over to Penny.
Penny, what's going on? It's T-Rex.
Penny clenched her jaw, to glow around her horn growing brighter.
He's gone after Blake. I need to stop him now.
Not if I get there first. Before Pierre could rocket off the ground, a massive shape suddenly flew out from Luffy's room. The glow around Penny's horn vanished, and with her eyes widened, realizing it was T-Rex tumbling into the sky despite lack of wings. Even from afar, his large body made it easy to tell he was struggling to breathe. Something appeared to be lodged above his stomach. Pierre watched it in similar astonishment.
What into Tartarus did that? I don't know,
Penny replied.
Well, we can't waste this chance while T-Rex is up there.
I don't think he's going to be up there for long. Both of them looked to see that T-Rex had suddenly reached its apex and was now tumbling back down to Equestria. A slight red tint seeped into the air and the sunlight glistened off its steel spell that raced over T-Rex. An instant later after it appeared, though, it burst into pieces. A second later, T-Rex radically changed course in midair. A loud pop of the sound barrier breaking soon followed. Pierre's eyes narrowed up at the spot where the sonic boom had emanated from. For a split second, she spied the fake outline of a pony, but it fizzed as quickly as she spied it.
What in Equestria's going on up there?
We have bigger news. Penny grabbed hold of Pierre's head and shifted it slightly. Pierre was pale at seeing T-Rex's immense form crashing towards them. Everyone hit the decks, Pierre screamed. T-Rex smashed the battlefield like a meteor. Anything that let all the walls and ceilings obliterated. The visible floor was torn out by the foundation from the impact. T-Rex beasts all dug their claws into the stones. Quickly found themselves losing their footing before being thrown into the air. Pierre had nearly met the same fate, but smacked into the barrier and was pulled close by Penny. Yang lifted off the ground, but Ruby quickly reached out and held on to her with all her strength. Both of them whipped through the air, but remained tethered to the ground thanks to Ruby's side holding on tight to a rather large stone. Like Penny, Weiss had managed to summon a barrier, albeit a much smaller one. It only taken a few seconds, but now little remained of the castle around the ponies. T-Rex beasts lay strewn about, their battles and the fall of their master seeming taking their toll on them. T-Rex was in a similar state, lying in the middle of a crater flat on his back. Eyes swam in his head and gave a wheezing cough. The wind was suddenly knocked to him by a huge punch to the gut. He managed to give a sneaky glance to see that Blake had delivered another blow to his already damaged core. As the pain was, he removed her hoof and raced over his head, bending her leg back. The next blow looked like it would split T-Rex head in two.
Fluttershy?
Blake called out. Pierre called out. Blake turned her a hiss, the arm around her neck pulsated. Eyes wide in sight, Pierre looking at her white as ghosts. Tears horn crackled Verity. No! Stay stepped! Stay stepped! Stay stepped!
Die!
He roared before releasing a beam point blank on Blake.